Hey everybody, it's Casual Boops coming at you with another video, and today we're going to be covering the brand new 116 F3, the brand new Tier 10 Chinese reward heavy tank that is the latest addition after Clan Wars. This most recent season, they've introduced this tank. I'm sure you can tell from the title, I haven't decided what to call this thing, but the tank sucks. You're wondering whether it's good, whether you should bid on this thing, or whether it's worth it. If you're watching this sometime after I've released it for the next campaign, you're like, should I play to get this tank? No. The tank is not good. I think Wargaming have been very cagey about introducing reward tanks that are good or even frickin' playable at all ever since the Chieftain fiasco, because everybody knows how dumb how dumb that tank is, and so the Caro has been not very good, and the 116 is also just not very good. It doesn't really do anything well. It's just not very good. I'll explain to you why I think that. But it's I would not, if you're like gonna bid on this thing, whatever you're bidding is too much. Like I'm probably never gonna play this thing. I've played it a few times, and I have no desire to play it again. It's really not good. So all right, let's get into it. Okay, so what is it? What is this tank all about? Basically, it's got a 530 average alpha gun and really bad DPM, right? But you're thinking, oh, boops, it's got a clip. It's got a 3-round clip. Why do you care about DPM when it's got a clip? Okay, so yeah, DPM isn't necessarily something you look at when you have a clip, but it does indicate, right? The point here, what I'm trying to get at here is you have a 5 seconds intra-clip, which is a long time, right? That's like Minotauro, right? It's really bad. And then you also have 3 rounds in the mag, but then you have 38 seconds for your next, like, not only is the intra-clip reload long, but the drum reload is really long too, and even your clip, I mean, if you hit every single shot, 1600 damage will sting, but I don't know, yes, that's like half of a tier 10, but first of all, you're not going to pen all 3, and it's going to take you, 10 solid seconds. It's not very potent, right? And you're so vulnerable for 38 seconds for so long that you can't carry games because you don't have the firepower to bring it home. If you miss even one shot, you're just fucked. You're just hosed, right? Because now all of a sudden you only do 1,000 damage, and God, it's just like whatever you were planning on. Like, let's say the enemy has 1,400 hit points. You're like, all right, well, I can do this. You bounce one, you're just dead now because you take 10 more seconds to get the rest of your clip out, and then so that's a total of like 48 seconds. That guy gets to farm you for almost a whole minute before you get to shoot again. You're dead. You're gonna lose every 1v1 if you bounce even one shot, and you can tell by the gun handling stats, and we'll see that in the game. Gun handling stats are also not great. It's not looking good. It's not looking good, is it? And I'm sure if you guys have looked at Tanks DG before this, you've seen this and you probably estimated that this is about how it would go. And you're right. But I feel compelled to just go through it anyways, right? 325 gold pen is fine, right? I think that's what the Super Conk has that. But also the Super Conk has a gun that's so good that it'll actually go, the shots will go where you want them to. And it also has the DPM to shoot its way out of fights. So this is part of the equation. And if the rest of the equation was better, then this would be not a problem. But this doesn't do enough to make up for the fact that the gun is bad, the DPM is bad, the top speed's not good. Yeah, so it's you don't have very much ammo. Not that it matters because you can't shoot it very fast anyways. Like, how long would it take you to shoot 42 rounds? For fucking ever, right? Minutes, entire minutes. So anyways, the mobility is bad, right? 35 power to weight, or 35 top speed is super conk slow, which I like the Super Conqueror, and it is slow, but it has enough stuff that's good about it that it makes up for that. And so I can put up with the speed. But this is just, it's also very slow on top of all the other things I've already talked about. Terrain resistances are not great on standard, on regular ground, and God forbid you get in soft terrain. Like, this doesn't actually exist in many places. It's just like in the water, or like in the alley, not the alley, the valley of Lakeville is like soft terrain. It's all squishy and crappy. I don't even know what it looks like then, or how the tank behaves, but this 2.4 means it must just turn into like a mouse. Really bad. 8 degrees of gun depression isn't quite enough, I haven't felt like, because I don't know, it just didn't, the lower plate is big enough that whenever I try to be hull down and work a ridge, 8 degrees just doesn't feel like quite enough. I haven't had good experiences with it. we'll talk about the armor in a little bit, but the rest of this is whatever. The view range is fine. It doesn't matter. The crew layout matches, I think, the 5A, which is fine. So you can just plop your 5A crew in this, but not the 113, right? The 113 I think is different, where the radio man is the loader or something. Anyway, so that's kind of the gist, the stats. It's all about an autoloader. We'll say that the turret armor is supposed to be good, right? And this is the tank shooting itself. And so that looks pretty solid. You're like, holy crap, this thing is invincible. It just goes hull down and wins, right? Because it's got these tiny little. It does have cupolas, right? Those are weak. They're very small, but it does have cupolas. But this doesn't really say the whole story, though, does it? Because as soon as you tap 2, and you're talking like, okay, let's use all of your gun depression. So you're going to do that. But also this giant lower plate exists. And even if you do that, now you got these strips next to the turret on the mantlet that you can see. Even if you got high enough penetration, that's 320. Some of this is getting down to, 190 impacted armor, but it's angled and stuff. So like, if you're shooting at tier 10s and tier 10s are shooting back at you, 286, like, you will probably get trolled, right? What I'm trying to say is the turret's not invulnerable, and I'm not saying it should be, because weak spots are good. I would have preferred if this thing had an M48 Patton size cupola, like a little bit bigger than this, maybe twice as big, and it had a gun stats that were actually decent. That I would be okay with then, but this, you feel like it feels worse than it is because you have to let the gun lay in to make sure that every single one of your shots pens. And so because of that, your exposure time, the time that it takes you need to be poked up and sitting and waiting and hoping and stuff is longer, which gives everybody else more time to aim in. So that's what I mean. Like the armor doesn't feel great, even though it looks good, just because how the gun feels impacts how the armor feels. It's weird to think about like that, but that's why like the Super Conch has armor weak spots kind of all over. It's got that cupola, it's got the weak turret ring and all that stuff, but the armor feels pretty good because you're snappy. You can poke up, shoot, and poke back, and like you don't have to expose yourself for very long. So this armor looks more solid, but it doesn't feel as good because you got to sit there for 5 years and make sure that the gun's not even really that bad, but because your DPM is so bad, it is so imperative that every single one of your shots pens, that you really need to let this thing lay in, and so your exposure time is huge. So it's not good. This is bad news bears. I like the turret armor can work, but as soon as you depend on it, at some tier 10 is going to spam gold and get right through your turret, or your cupola or whatever, or God forbid they're above you. That's just not gonna work. And then, like I said, the hull is bad, the lower plate's bad. You can't really side scrape. If people know this, if you're watching this video and now you know this, now you become the problem. Is that this round little, like the turret, the part below the turret ring that sticks out, it kind of has that part like the Panzer 7 does. If you look at the visual model, you'll see it. It's hidden. It's hidden by this. You can't actually visibly see it, but if you know it's there and someone is trying to side scrape, you aim just down here and you'll pen, right? You aim at the side of the turret below the hull, you will pen. Even like this. So this is one of those things. It's not obvious. You'll need to definitely do your homework and be looking at videos like this to see this, but you can't really side scrape in this tank unless somebody doesn't know what they're doing. Against good players, they're going to know that this exists and they're going to shoot it, and then you're going to have a bad time. So equipment and field mods and stuff. Field mods are easy. It's always this one. It's always this one. It's always this one. I would probably always take the top speed because you need it. It's just 35 is just not fast enough. And this one's debatable. A lot of people are going to go hit points because you feel like you need that, but also, God, I am loath to like make the gun any worse than it already is. This one's debatable. Yeah, this one's debatable. If you're a good player and you depend on hit points a lot more, a lot of good players are very like, if I can get 50 more hit points, that means I'm statistically that much more likely to survive X number of shots more. You're going to go for the hit points. Me personally, I want the shots to hit, so I'm probably going to do this. I mean, it doesn't matter for me personally because I'm never going to play this fucking thing again. But that's how I would play it like that because I personally value having the gun behave a little more. I always run food because I'm a tryhard. The slot is up to you. I've seen some people that run. Some of the very good players that I've seen play this game, play this tank, play it like this, and like this. Come on, like this, and then like this. This is what they do. And like I said, the turret traverse dispersion being 0.12, that means as if you're turning your turret around, it actually stays fairly tight. Uh, so there's something to be said for this, right? Getting up to 44 with a power to weight almost at 16. There's nothing wrong with this. I personally felt like I needed to just I'm a gun handling fiend, so I did this and this, and so I was trying to get just the gun to be as good as it can possibly be, 0.33 and stuff, and it still didn't feel great because it's just as soon as you just miss one, it's just like your whole day's ruined, basically. Like, I would have liked this tank so much more if they would have just given it like a 10-second reload and a single shot. Like, the clip actually kills it for me, honestly. But this is how I personally run it, and I hate it. Give it a shot, see what you think, play around with it a little bit. Like I said, a lot of people are running the hardening and stuff. So, anyways, I've talked enough. Let's get into the gameplay. All right, so we're going to start out watching Engine Power. Engine Power is going to be playing in his F116 F30 F3. I have to say, I've watched the countdown in the chat here. The Owen Wilson's nose, kind of hopeless. I'm just going to rush the field. This guy is in his Striv 103B. I watched this replay and I've seen this guy, and you just look at him out there and you already know this is just not going to go very well. Like, I have to say, like, this guy Owen Wilson's nose. Hey buddy. Maybe the reason that you lose so goddamn always is because you're the one on your team and you're doing shit like that. So instead of, complaining about how the team's not very good, and so you're just going to throw yourself away and ensure that your team loses because now they're down a tank, maybe just, I don't know, go play checkers, right? Go play, or actually try to play the game, right? But that guy threw his fucking tank away. It's super, there's a few things in this game that tilt me really bad, and one of them is when people do stupid shit in the beginning of the game and say, well, we're gonna lose this game, when it hasn't, the game hasn't even started, right? The XVM chance to win percentage is the most garbage thing that's ever been added to this game, period. And then also just when people get, when people push, when I can't back up, or when I get pushed out of cover, those are the things that tilt the shit out of me. But anyways, that guy sucks, and I'm going to try to ignore his stupid ranting in the chat afterwards because he's just a toxic piece of shit. Owen Wilson's nose. Go fuck yourself, buddy. You're just awful. You shouldn't be at tier 10. You shouldn't be playing this game. You have the wrong attitude, and you're not playing. I don't know. I don't agree with anything that you're saying or doing. Anyways, back to the actual game. You can see the mobility here. We're about as fast as this VZ55. I mean, he's beating us up the hill a little bit. And you can see the gun handling, right? It feels okay at this moment. But the VZ is definitely faster, and I don't know what equipment the VZ has on his tank either. So, VZs are actually fairly quick, honestly, considered to be fairly fast. But anyways, just take a look at the gun handling. So we got a Rhino. You can't really fuck with the Rhino, but aim. Engine Power goes ahead and aims the shot in as much as he possibly can. Wait. He snapped that one a little bit, but it did pen. And 578 feels good, right? I will say, hitting for almost 600 on an autoloader feels good, right? I like the alpha is decent, but that one, that was not a very high percentage shot, but he had to take it anyways. And so now we're gonna be unstunned here, and now we just get to go and fuck off for 38 seconds because this is just what it is. You just get to sit there. And they take the hill. You can't, because you can't engage, right? He's totally relying on his VZ55 friend to keep him alive, and he's not playing very well. That's why he's getting rocked. But you can't even help, right? We're about to maybe get to the spot where we can help. Almost. Here we go. And finally, yes, we've had our cigarette. Oh, it's not a French tank, so I can't. Whatever. Have a cigarette, and then come back to the battle. But yeah, you could see it's just that was that engagement there where he had a chance to squeeze out 3 rounds, and then he had to wait for 35 seconds, and during that time the battle for this hill was kind of decided, right? That's just kind of how it went. And we're gonna try to for a second there he had a green pen marker on the turret of the Kran, and I don't really understand why that was. Maybe that was the underside of the, I don't know, when the Kran's gun was up or something like that, perhaps. But you see, we're trying to stay hull down as best we can, but we're still not really any match for Kranvang. even in its nerf state. Our mouse is throwing his fucking tank away. Man, tier 10, I believe this was done, like, Engine Power just got this, and I think this was this game happened, like, when Battle Pass had just started, so everybody was just out there just throwing their faces at the keyboard, trying to get as many Battle Pass games as they possibly could, so they can try to finish it on day one or whatever. So it's just, I experienced all this kind of dumb shit, too. And so I just didn't play the game for a couple of days. But look. All right, so we got one in the mouse, but also mouse managed to snap it in on the cupola. Good for him. I'm kind of, you can see Engine Power was surprised by that too. That's why he went and checked. We're aiming. All right, second one goes in. We're 2 for 2 so far. That's good. Wait for 3 for 3. We love to see it. All right, sounds good. So now we've eaten half of a mouse. Mouse still has 1,700 hit points, but whatever. And now we get to sit here and dance around. And you can see our team has actually won the field, right? They've pushed up through the field. They're trying to be aggressive through the 1-2-3 line, and so the enemy 2 907s are spotted, getting back in there to try to keep them from winning the field, which is a good play, honestly. That's what they should be doing. And our guys are going to have a really hard time trying to push into the A2 B1 area, just because there's just so many good bushes in there. There's no way that you can get in there and be unspotted. You can see Engine Power is trying super hard to work around the gun depression, right? He had to go over that hill more than he probably wanted to get that shot in, and luckily he was able to take out. Oh my god! And see, look at this. The first one was questionable because the mouse had angled at just the right moment, but the second one looked like it should have gone in. And here it is. This is this whole game, is you just get to sit and wait for 30, 35, 38 seconds. Wait for your tank to load, and these mice, if they had like just pushed in, right? There's a pair of mice. If they had just been aggressive, I think that they could have. I mean, because this E3 is basically alone. This guy's like, our gun is basically dead. It's not loading it. It's reloading. So if those two mice had just pushed in and farmed the E3, this game would be over. But now we're finally back up. Kronvon gets to look over. Let's see. The first one bounces. And we wait. Luckily that Kron misplayed and was too aggressive. We get one more shot into the mouse, and we wait. And that one, like, oh my god, you could see how frustrated he was. I'm kind of frustrated too. That one like hit the mantlet little thing, but it felt like a good shot, but it's just too fucking bad. You don't have the freedom. You have to work really hard to put the shells where you want. Like, he's shooting a mouse at fairly close range, and look at how hard he's having to work to get this gun to just do what he wants. It's just, ugh. And this echoes my experience pretty well with it too. My experience has been awful. Just unfun. If this E3 had decided to just play poorly, like the rest of our team, this game would be over by now, right? Look at that. That one felt like it should have gone in. Like, these mice are playing badly, and that's the only reason that this hasn't gone to shit already. Oh, I said that they're angling, and you don't get to do anything because they're angling. Underside of the... There we go. Get the underside of the lower plate. That's good. Wait. Oh, my God. Seemed like he was a little bit... Again, hit the mantlet a little bit, but that looked good to me, right? I can see he was aiming for the cheeks of the mouse, exactly where you're supposed to be. And I don't know how many mags this has been so far, but it's like you feel like you're working super hard, right? This is, Engine Power's got 4,000 damage and 2 kills, so like a respectable game. But the game has been won because that E3 played really well, and because those mice played really bad. You can't carry games in this thing because the DPM is just so shit. And so, it's a decent, I guess, I don't know, it's not even really a decent support tank, but it functioned. Oh, there we go. Functioned as a decent support tank because the other guy, everybody else was doing okay. Wait. See, that the pen marker on that was yellow, and I was surprised to see that one actually pen because it looked like it was just going to track him, but we'll take it. We'll take some RNG for once in this effing game. Striv is holding down the field. We got a 907 in the pocket, and it's us on the hill. And so if we can pick these guys, this is gonna be painful, right? Because they've still got a Jaegeru. We've still got this E3. Like, what we need to do here is find a way. The Jaegeru, last time he spotted, he was at full hit points. I don't know if he still is, but the camo is so good back there at like A3 that I think their 907 made a mistake. Their 907 would have hung back at A3. we would have a big problem right now. But since he drove himself in and isolated himself, then this won't be as big of an issue. So engine power is going to progress down. You notice he's staying on the left of that little hillside. There's a hillside to his right to keep that Jaegeru. We don't know where the Jaegeru is, but we have to assume he's at like A4. Oh, he's at A5. He's spotted. But he can't see engine power because he's keeping that hillside between him and himself. We'll go ahead and take him out of the game. That's good. And now we get a clean up. As soon as physics decides to cooperate, we're going to turn around and get up, back up on the hill. Oh my god, the speed on this thing. Like, I'm just having trouble. What I was thinking when I was watching this replay is, like, imagine being in that situation that engine power was in. And instead of being in this thing where you were just hamstrung, you had to just wait for your clip to come up and whatever. Imagine if he would have been in, like, a Super Conqueror. He could have just been feasting, just frickin' mowing down with the DPM. It could have been awesome. Like, he could have probably had 6,000 damage in this game if he was playing in a Super Conqueror. Or more, 6,000 or 7,000. He would have farmed both of those mice. But because he was in this thing, he had to work so much harder. And still, I mean, he did okay because he did what RNG allowed him to do. But I don't know. This is the perfect embodiment of you just have to work so much harder in this tank. So, all right. So at the end of the game, engine power managed to take home 5,082 damage, 4 kills. He had something like 750 spotting for probably the artillery hitting the hill. Did have 1,700 block damage. That was apparently an ace. I don't know. Maybe the ace requirements will go up in this tank after it's been out for a while, but maybe they won't. 1,221 base XP. Solid game, right? Again, but you could just... The reason I picked this game is not because it's the best game that anyone's ever played, but because, and I would say Engine Power did a fine job, right? Solid game. But somebody out there's probably played a better one or a more damage one or whatever. But I like this one because it showed, like, okay, you can bounce damage, but also the gun depression is awkward. And, you know, I showed him struggling with the mice because that's what this thing does. And so I wanted to show the good, but also the bad. And then also it looks like, you know, he did make a little bit of money, but that was a lot because of battle payments. And he had a mission reward or something like that. So he would have lost his ass if not for those things. So, you know, not cheap to run either, because, again, this is all the things that you saw there with the RNG trolling him and stuff. He was shooting all premium rounds, too. So if you're shooting standard rounds, it's just going to be that much worse. So, anyways, that is all that I've got. Thank you to Engine Power for sending this in, and hopefully this helps you guys decide whether you want to bid on this piece of shit or not. I wouldn't. If you're playing a Clan Wars campaign and you want to dedicate 2 weeks of your life to getting this thing, reevaluate your life choices, man. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one. All right, bye.